the home team against their former teammate. Quadrant going up against Spacestation Gaming. I'm Tools. Joined with me is Active, and we'll bring you this action. Whoever wins will be able to secure themselves a top 4 finish in today's competition.
Yeah, the home team is definitely well said, and against the former champions of Arlington, it's SSG who find themselves in the elimination quarterfinals, looking for an answer, looking for a way to get out, a way to make their way back to that grand finals position. But they've got to get through Glory first. It's all 4 down for SSG. Glory with the shock rifle and the spawn unbound.
And so far, Quadrant is like so impressive on this map, and it's largely been because of this shock rifle. Glory's been just popping off with any sort of long-range rifle today. Remember that triple kill just from a game ago, and what dominant start from Quadrant against a Spacestation Gaming that's wounded off a 3-0 loss in the winner's bracket to Shopify Rebellion.
100%. Wounded is a great way to put it. SSG need to wake up here. We know what they're capable of. Their ceiling is extremely high. Obviously, if they won Arlington, that is the case, but they've got to get through this Quadrant roster, and they've got to build some momentum for themselves, and it starts right now in this game. They do stop that first cap from going in. A lot of work needs to be done, though, in order to solidify the map and make sure that Quadrant can't finish this hill off.
For Spacestation, right, this is an awkward situation because you want to still fight for this hill, but if you lose at any point, Quadrant's just going to be able to secure it right away. So these next kills going to be vital for Spacestation to hold off this push of Quadrant. You lose this, you lose the hill.
Snipedrone gets a big kill with the nade on the bat ledge. Eco finds the kill onto him, though, and Sica trades out that one. So, as you said, it's Lqgend that has to push in. Sica's down to no shields. Lqgend gets the kill onto Sica, gets the double as well onto Glory's. That should solidify this hill. I don't think there's any way for Quadrant to get in. They're 3 down. Last player alive, not able to push either.
Heroics from the former Quadrant member makes the difference. Now a champion with Spacestation Gaming. You're seeing why so many are calling him the best player in the game. When you need him to go big, he goes bigger. Fantastic plays as SSG go up 1-0 against Quadrant.
This is what he does. This is what Lqgend does. Massive damage being output on the map, and it just frees up his entire team to push forward, to get the cleanup kills. And it's Lqgend immediately after that damage that gets in the hill and gets this objective time. 3 minutes and 51 seconds remain here. This first hill goes in the hands of Spacestation, and they're already working on that second, and it's Lqgend at the forefront of it all.
It just feels like Lqgend can't miss. It's a double that's going to turn into a triple. Oh, man. Just a shot away. Snipedrone, just with the hair on his chinny chin, gets away from Lqgend as he was on an absolute rampage at the back of hill.
And what happens when a player like Lqgend starts to pop off is the rest of the team will rile behind him, and that's exactly what SSG need if they want to find themselves back in that grand final situation. Snipedrone gets the kill onto Lqgend, checks him just a bit, slows down his pace. He'll push through to StelluR, but StelluR ends up getting that trade. It's still 1 hill again, the lead, but SSG halfway through the second one. Quadrant finally find themselves in the hill. They finally start to build on their first.
Glory's been fantastic this game thus far. I love how forward he is on the map. He's pressuring Spacestation before they can even try to contest the hill. He's been able to get 2 kills and has severely slowed down this push. And Bound's going to be in trouble as Glory finds him in the back pocket as well. 3 kills in a row from Glory could be the difference between this second hill going to Quadrant or not.
Oh my goodness, SLG with a double completely clears out all of Hydro. And that's going to allow him to step in this hill. He has to do so. Shroud screens his teammate in Snipedrone, allows Snipedrone to stay alive with no shields, and because of that, we're tied up at 1.
Fantastic, right? It's that Shroud screen has dual purpose, right? Not only allowing his teammate to get his shields back, but also just blocking off that sight line from the forward base to potentially fry him out of that hill. Instead, it's an easy capture, and they go next. Spacestation, they have the spawns, but Quadrant, they know what needs to be done. It's about working on the perimeters, breaking out the spawns, and then working towards hill. The problem is Spacestation's one of the best teams at holding a setup like this. Look how methodical they are. Eco all the way across the map, fighting into the long haul, while the other two watch the crosses from the A side. There's just nothing Quadrant can do. This hill is guaranteed for Spacestation.
Yeah, Eco not only pushing aggressively, he gets information there, also has that cross, so just so much power in Eco's positioning. And like you said, that hill will be acquired by the side of SSG. They'll lead 2-1 now, and it's up to Quadrant to try and answer back on this next one. It will be on the C-plat side. Camel coming up very shortly as well.
The one thing that's always so impressive about SSG is how quickly they play to the next play, right? They'll get the 3-4 down, and they instantly spread on the map and get themselves positioned for the follow-up. That's why they're so hard to beat. And when they get into these hills, they don't often let them go. Two going down for Quadrant, and the camouflage into Eco's hands. Suddenly, things look disastrous for Quadrant.
Somehow, Eco stays alive as well. Great damage out of him. There's another camo that is down on the spawn. It's going to be Sica that picks that one up potentially. Oh, looks like it'll still be there. I don't know if it's a bug observer glitch.
A bug.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And then it came back up. I don't think it's actually up on the
Okay. I was a little bit confused, but regardless, 2-1. Still the lead for SSG. 3 down for the side of SSG, though. It'll be 4 down now. You see Sica immediately going towards this A side to make sure to give himself information on the spawns. The shroud screen used to potentially get himself towards the tower side, making a difficult push for SSG. And Quadrant very close to capping this second hill and tying this game up.
I really like that play from Sica to go bottom A because he's not committed to A. All he's doing there is preventing the spawn and waiting for damage, right? As soon as he gets some damage put into him, he knows that he can just rotate away safely and let Snipedrone do the work on the other side. This has been a fantastic sequence from Quadrant to get that hill and, well, be well set up for the next, right? We saw Snipedrone go up and block out that glass spawn. They have C, plat, and A. Spacestation are fighting through the side of the map that has no angle towards this hill.
3 down for the side of SSG. Once again, it's going to be Quadrant immediately into that hill. Legend was the last player on this Hydro side, so they'll have that Hydro control with SLG pushing the tower. And it looks like they're in a prime position to take this hill as well. We'll see if they're able to close out on it. SSG pushing very aggressively now. But Bound is the first one to fall, and what that means, it's going to be difficult. But look, they get the trade kills. That's 3 down for Quadrant. A chance for SSG to get this hill.
SSG just makes that look so easy. That's the hardest thing to do in the game. They're fighting from open positions towards batteries against players that are well set up in close positions on high ground, and they got all 3 kills at the same time. SSG want to do the impossible. The problem is Quadrant did so much work in the front half of this hill. For them, it's a simple enough break. They're able to secure their 3rd hill, and it's just 1 more to go. Quadrant so close to getting this job done.
Shots looking good out of Eco. It's SSG that control the gold side, which is exactly what they want to be for this hill.
Eco losing every one of his teammates right now with such a responsibility, trying to stay alive and hold down pipes. He's able to find that first kill, and that is a massive kill from Eco to make this hill a potential possibility that they can jump in here momentarily.
SLG up high with the BR in his back pocket. It might have been a player that stuck under him over towards the gold side. Bound is there, so is StelluR. Eco's here as well, and now it's SSG driving Quadrant out of the gold side of the map, but somehow it's Glory and Quadrant that remain in the hill and putting points on the board. They're keeping their eyes on the prize, about 30% done.
Quadrant are playing for the win. They don't want to play for time, and as they get another kill onto Eco, they stagger the potential full push from the respawners of SSG. They will have man advantage here, and SSG are now on the ropes here in game 1 An unbelievable performance here so far as this hill's rotated to battery. Quadrant have played perfect.
3 down go SSG and StelluR stuck toward the bottom mid side. That means Quadrant are taking game number 1 against the defending champ.
It looks like the drunk crowd has made their way into the other venue now as they are behind their hometown team in Quadrant.
It's Lqgend going up against his former team, and the former team, the underdogs, but the hometown heroes up 1-0. Like you said, this would be a massive upset if Quadrant were able to do it. If SSG go down here,
that'd be unbelievable. We've seen SSG dig themselves into a hole in this tournament, and we have seen them climb out of that hole against, I believe it was Sentinels in the winner's bracket. They had a 2-0 lead. Everything was looking like it was Sentinels' series to have, and SSG climbed back, so do not count SSG out. But as that crowd continues to get louder and louder behind them, it will be a definite different environment for SSG to try and deal with.
Let's talk about a different environment right now. This is not the stats I'm used to seeing from the side of SSG, and that just shows me Quadrant are really in their heads, and they're just doing things that are really putting SSG on the back foot. When you're looking at that kind of statistical advantage, you're looking at all of the slays that are going the way of Quadrant there. Is that telling you a little bit about Spacestation? Are they maybe just out of steam? Are they struggling a little bit in terms of how late it is and how much they're having to really dig deep here in Quadrant? They're on their home turf. They have extra momentum behind them. Look at their fans going nuts. That is going to be really difficult for Spacestation to try and get out of this rut.
Yeah, Dave and I talked about it a little bit, right? It was how we talked about it in the Optic series. It goes after you get 3-0, like the way you just lost against FaZe, how are you going to respond? Because you immediately jump into another series. Optic responded with unbelievable resilience.
Yes.
SSG look a little rocked. If they don't show up in game 2, they're definitely rocked. You just lost 5 straight maps at a tournament, and SSG might not have lost more than like 6 or 7 maps all of Arlington, and they were the champions. Right now, they need to wake up. They don't have a lot of time, and you pointed it out, Watt. The stats of Bound in that last game were not complimentary or typical traditional stats that we see from a superstar like Bound.
Yeah.
He's got to pick it up, but it's got to be a team effort because of how strong this Quadrant roster has looked all tournament. Even though they went to the elimination bracket, they went there losing 2 game 5s. This Quadrant team is strong. And as they have built momentum in their favor through the elimination bracket, they are only getting stronger and stronger.
And a couple of points to expand on what you just said there. You know, perfect things that are happening here for Quadrant. You know, they are coming out against a kind of difficult SSG roster who are finding it hard right now to get things going. You mentioned Bound. It was StelluR also. StelluR had like 16 and 23. That is not normal for him. That is absolutely not normal for SSGs. And on the other side of things, you mentioned Quadrant being in the elimination bracket. Well, they've had a couple games in there now. They're very well versed. This is SSG's first one. After probably thinking and assuming they'd be going all the way through the winner's side, they need to pick things up right now, Tony, and this is where they do it on Aquarius.
this is where the leadership of SSG will be tested as SLG does grab himself an overshoot. I can only imagine, coming from the human side of things, what must be going on in Lqgend's head at the moment. So I want to lean on the Elamites, the Bounds, to be able to go to the kid Lqgend and say, hey, everything's going to be okay, bounce back, play your game.
I'm looking at StelluR to say, I'm going to put the team on my back for a second. He starts this game up 4-0-1 as he finally gets taken down. We talked about his stats from game one. You cannot afford to have multiple bad games in the elimination bracket, and StelluR is starting to pick it up here at the start of game two.
And you don't want to give StelluR any kind of power weapon. That includes the heat wave, but if you do, you want to shut him down immediately, which is exactly what Snipedrone and Quadrant do. And look what Snipedrone just do what he does best and put damage down on the map. Bound ends up hitting the black screen here as we have a tied-up game at 9 apiece.
9-9, and the strong start from StelluR is exactly what Quadrant fans back there want to see. Although, Spacestation are able to find 2 picks, extend the lead to 2, but more importantly, gain some map control. And when they get map control on a map like Aquarius in this mode, they are going to extend that lead 90% of the time.
Lqgend takes the low ground towards the back blue side of things. It's about to be a 2v2, actually make it a 2v3 as the spawn is coming from Quadrant, but now surrounding them, the Space Station Gaming, what a collapse, attacking them from both sides. Full squad wipe, Quadrant go down.
Quadrant stuck in the pink corner, had no room or space to fight out of it. The Space Station collapsed onto the closet as they extend the lead to 4, but more importantly, extend the map control that they now have for this next overshield.
16-13 lead in favor of Space Station Gaming. You got Lqgend over toward the P side. The map here was bound to go down toward that bottom P. Lqgend dropping down, giving up that height advantage, but securing a double kill. It's SLG, though, that gets away with the overshield. That's what matters most, down by 3 kills. This could be the catalyst to you coming back and making a run for Quadrant.
Yeah, what a play by Quadrant to come off respawn there and somehow find a way to get this overshield in the hands of SLG. So many members of Space Station pressuring SLG, but SLG stands strong. His team is here to help. Glory and SLG flush out SSG.
Plus map shots from SLG.
Bound not to no shield here, bottom car. Down 3. This is a very difficult, important moment for SSG to maintain their lead.
Moment we do, Eco shuts him down. So back to SLG we go, having a very good game. 6-3, 4 assists, and the heat wave in hands, but Lqgend gonna win that one.
Lqgend up 5 now, going down. Multiple members of SSG dropping. Once again, it's a double kill for Glory, and the Irishman himself is starting to pick it up at 10-2 and 6.
Eco was able to take down Sica, but found himself a big Quadrant sandwich right between 2 members in Snipedrone. Not only dealing with one, but Eco hits the black screen as well. Quadrant are fighting so well, and that's a tied-up game after SLG going after his former teammate, Bound. Luckily with the cleanup kill, but Quadrant are still grinding forward. They are still pushing SSG back.
Quadrant is giving SSG everything they can handle. The game tied up at 29-29. Overshield coming up in 5 seconds, and if Quadrant can get this overshield and build some momentum, SSG will officially be rocked and on the risk of going down 0-2.
Overshield is up. The nades are as well. As those nades get wasted, Snipedrone comfortable enough to get the kill. Pop the overshield, and a 2-kill advantage from Quadrant seemingly out of nowhere. Overshield may be drained, but they still have the lead to Quadrant.
They have the lead and the map control. They have information on where SSG are. Multiple members passing past Snipedrone right now. He's getting damage into both, even finding a kill. Eco dropped to no shield, and Snipedrone with the head on a swivel is putting damage into all of SSG, denying them any opportunity.
Snipedrone going through the utility side.
Wow.
Eco not aware of it. Cross-map shots connect beautifully as 3 out of 4 members of Space Station Gaming once again hitting the black screen. 2 do spawn over towards the back red side, and although the nades are enough to keep Snipedrone out momentarily, he will push forward. No shields, no problem. Snipedrone and Quadrant with the collapse. A 6-kill advantage now towards the end game.
SSG playing scared Halo right now as Snipedrone is playing perfect. Every round he takes, every decision he makes is perfect so far throughout this life. Staying alive, dealing max damage before finally getting taken down, but the damage is done. The 6-kill lead remains the same.
42-30, make it 43-37 right now. Quadrant still hold the advantage, and they get closer and closer to going up 2-0 against the defending champions. Bound trying to shut that down. Takes down Sica, some great shots onto Glory. More importantly, will play his life. The nade doesn't finish him, but Lqgend will, and now SSG push forward.
This is the moment. This is the pivotal moment in SSG's tournament. They have complete map control. You are down 4, and your tournament life is on the line right now to go down 0-2. You have to find a way to get kills efficiently here. You cannot afford to trade, and StelluR finds a massive kill as Overshield comes up in 3 seconds. Space Station will have control of the Overshield here, and they will have an opportunity to ice up.
Not only do they bring them back within 2 kills, but they grab a hold of the Overshield. Quadrant, you were so close to finishing this, but now it's Bound with the double, with the killing spree. A 1-kill game. Quadrant still have a slight advantage.
Stays alive, gets his shield back, finds another kill to tie it up. Bound stays alive again as he jumps top car. Eco goes down, Snipedrone finds Lqgend. Bound goes down. StelluR the last man alive. The crowd is hyped from the other room, and it's for a reason. Quadrant take the lead 2-0.
Somebody get the drums and the trumpet, because Quadrant are up 2-0 against your defending champions. Quadrant may just pull off the upset of the year.
Quadrant are on the brink of another massive upset, and it's against the man himself that chose to leave and join SSG. What a moment for those Quadrant fans and especially those Quadrant players, but the job not finished yet, Tony. We talked about it before that game, and let's remember it. SSG have been down 2-0 even in this tournament and still found a way to be resilient enough to bring it back all the way against Sentinels earlier on and change the outcome of that series in their favor.
I'll tell you what was so impressive about that. Those final moments, that last 10 seconds of that Slayer shows me everything I need to know about Quadrant going forward. No matter what happens in this series, I know that this roster are made of big things. They can compete with the best, and it's not just about the results. Those last 10 seconds, losing full control, OS is out of your hands. It's in bounds. They have the heat wave against you. It is so difficult. The odds here, the momentum on the side of Spacestation Gaming, it is unbelievable to slow that down, make that into your favor, and just totally reverse the situation. It's very hard to do that with your back against the wall in final moments. Quadrant being able to pull that off against Spacestation Gaming, that is a huge feat.
Against the Giants and SSG, the lead you had completely diminished, 46-all. Who's gonna make the play? And it's everyone on Quadrant that finds a kill, and they take down all of SSG unanswered to end that game. An unbelievable finish, and that does tell you a lot about these boys over on that Quadrant roster. I cannot wait for them to get back to that station, because this Streets Oddball is going to be a must watch for all the Halo fans out there, because SSG, our reigning champs, are on the brink of elimination.
I just want to explain to y'all at home. Y'all will probably look at the lobby, you see 8 players, and you assume this is a 4v4. Let me tell you right now, it is not. It feels like a 5v4 when you count that crowd. In fact, it feels like 100v4, because I promise that crowd is definitely an influence. Quadrant are feeding every kill. You hear the claps, you hear the shouts. Every single time one of them goes down, I promise you the opposition hears it. That crowd is definitely a factor, the large reason why Quadrant, they up 2-0.
It really is, actually. I've got to be honest with you. The second you hear them cheering, I heard them through the headset
Yes.
in the other room. That tells you something. But when the Quadrant boys hear that happening after the first kill going their way, after that huge momentum swing with the comeback potential from SSG, they hear that screaming and they think to themselves, we're doing it, guys. This is happening. It gives them the belief that they need to push forward. What an incredible shift from Quadrant. That is the ice of champions. That is the ice you need to take down Titans like this. And it's everything that you can dream of in an elimination quarterfinal right now in front of your fans on your home turf. Where's the next one? Oddball Streets. I will say, as excited as we're getting by Quadrant right now and what they are doing to Space Station, this is one where Space Station can easily slow things down. They are not only fast, we know they're a fast-paced team, but they're also methodical. They have a strategy. They have some of the best brains on that roster that we have in Halo Infinite. And I've got to say, this is where the tables could turn. I would not be surprised if we start to see the start of a reverse sweep from Space Station, and I think it could begin here.
Yeah, oddballs are always our longest game in the HCS in these series. And if you're going to try and beat the champs and prove that you're the better team here today, it's got to be right now in this oddball, and you are going to have to actually outplay them. You can do a lot of cheeky things in strongholds and King of the Hills to gain momentum and gain some sustainability throughout a series, but in oddballs, you truly have to outplay the other team if you're going to try and beat them in this grind of a Game 3. If Quadrant win this one, they are truly the better team here today than SSG.
That's a great point that you're making, because as the game goes longer and longer, usually the better teams look better and better. So I will say it's a great point, but as of right now, first 2 games, Quadrant do look like the better team. And like you said, if they win an oddball on the street, that kind of fight on the streets, they truly are the better team this weekend. And I can't wait. I guess I got goosebumps. I'm getting hyped.
I am excited. No, you're completely right. And I think there's one thing to be able to slay out on streets, especially. You can win your pivs, and they're really big. Obviously, getting a lot of weapons that are dotted around the map. It's really important. Obviously, that mid kind of fight that you're going to be having for the power up as well. But winning the pivs is one thing. Where you rotate the ball, where you want to hold the ball, how you hold that down, it is so important on streets. The lanes are everything. There are so many different angles you can take. I want to see some objective efficiency from Quadrant here.
Players in Oddball are challenged more in that mode than any other mode on their decision making. The factors that you're weighing in. That's why I think it's probably the most deciding map mode or mode combo that determines who the better team is. Typically, the oddball teams in the history of Halo are the stronger teams, the ones that are the better teams at a majority of the map mode suites. So if Quadrant can win this, then they deserve to move on. But that is still yet to be determined. And SSG, we've seen them in this position before, and that was when they shined the brightest so far this weekend.
I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'll say it again. You're looking for a fight, you take it to the streets of New Mombasa, potentially the final game of this series if Quadrant can pull off the sweep.
And they're rolling. It's all 4 down. If he can get this kill, there it is. 4-0, perfect start. And the crowd starting to chant in the background as Quadrant keep the momentum rolling for this series.
Crowd electric already, and a 13-0 start from Quadrant is going to make them louder and prouder. A camouflage coming up could be great for Quadrant, but the moment you go 3 down, the Sica stuck back into a subway. That should mean SSG at ball. That should mean they have camo as well.
Great job by Sica there to deny any significant ball time because Quadrant lost the battle after the initial setup. They're able to get the slays they need to deny SSG from getting any significant ball time, but Bound is here and still being a nuisance, finding a double kill, head on a swivel, and that double kill ruins the push from Quadrant once again.
15-5 advantage in favor of Quadrant. SSG kind of advancing that ball forward toward that back subway side, and Bound with the sneaky play right behind Glory, not taking any damage whatsoever. We can come right back in. Pancakes are served, so is breakfast. It's a bit late, but I'm hungry.
SSG take the lead off Bound's unbelievable performance with that single wipe. That was the best we've seen from Bound so far in this series. Starting the game off 5-2-3 with his back against the wall. 25-15 now, SSG take the lead.
They go down here. Sica can't find the kill onto StelluR. He is so tough to deal with, but the cleanup comes in easy. A momentary 1v1 turns to a 1v none. As 7 members on the map were down, and Snipedrone emerges from the ashes victorious.
SSG not able to put that in a difficult place for it to be contested by respawners. Snipedrone brings it right back into Tram. Camo is up, and it'll be very interesting to see how Quadrant play this situation because the ball carrier is such an exposed if he tries to compete for that camo. Glory gets that camo, he ends up burning it. SLG now with the red gun, starting to deal some damage to Tram players, but he gets assassinated by Bound, and now SSG have won this trade.
SSG were able to get the first camouflage and burn the second, yet still they find themselves down by 7 points at the moment. Not much here in an oddball match, but so far in this fight, it's been enough for Quadrant, who hop right back on that ball and right back on that damage. Excellent shots out of Glory leads to a double assist out of him, and Quadrant once again with the numbers. Eco goes down. That's a squad by Quadrant.
4 dead once again for SSG. Quadrant expanding on this lead here in round 1. 46 now, up 20 points and continuing to climb. Multiple members of SSG have already made their way into Tram behind enemy lines without Quadrant really knowing, being able to defend it. A good trade from Snipedrone, if you ask me, because he's under a lot of pressure and by himself. 3 members go down for Quadrant, and Glory, trying to figure out a way to trade, does just that to keep this ball neutralized.
49-25 lead here for Quadrant as SSG 1 game away, 2 rounds away from not making it to a championship Sunday. That would have to be a first here in Halo Infinite, I would imagine.
Sica able to help his team take down 2 of the players from SSG. SSG cannot get a Tram set up to save their lives, and it's because the pace and the pressure from Quadrant is too much. The ball back in Quadrant's hands, and they extend the lead to 30.
The cheers get louder. Sica with the long range shots, ball sits towards the cut side, and with a 2v2 Samira, this next round of slays, so important. It's Bound with the challenge onto Snipedrone, but off screen, Glory was able to take down Legend. That does not stop Bound and SSG from moving this ball away from the C side of the map and back towards the 8 side tower. Camo for Bound as well.
Bound able to get that camo, but he can't get the melee. He can't get the melee. He chooses not to try to stay alive, and a decision that he will regret as he is taken down. Somehow, Quadrant get into the Shroud, make the play. They get 3 straight kills. They get the ball back in their hand. They remove camo, and what a sequence of events for Quadrant.
They call that man Sica, but I don't know, he's sicker than the average to be able to take down Bound and rob the camouflage away from SSG. Quadrant are playing lights out, 68-32. SSG may have to fall, but one good round of slays could be all Quadrant need.
30-point difference now. SSG ball in hand trying to make it up, and they have a lot of map control right now. You see how advanced on the map Eco was as he was dealing damage. He's gonna fall back towards Bound with that ball, but Quadrant now see that, take the space themselves, and they should be able to ruin this setup now with 3 down.
Snipedrone strikes. Bound down to 1 shot, cleanup kill easy. 3 out of 4 members once again for SSG go down. Pay attention to that score line. It's 75 points and counting for Quadrant, and Eco has slowed the game down, waiting for the spawners to come up. He knows this could be the final push for SSG.
Eco with Bulldog shotgun in hand. Snipedrone rips it right from him. Spots Bound bottom middle. There's 2 down on each side, but you gotta favor Quadrant in their position right now. SSG trying to push back Tram or back PD. Legend gets spotted out, knocked to no shield, and Glory gets his revenge on Legend.
It was a bit of an early play ball there. They cleared out the PD side, and that could have been game, but still, Quadrant had the advantage. They have the 8 side of the map. They know the camouflage is over towards mid. This is what they want first. If they can guarantee the camo, they may just guarantee this round.
They still have a 30-point lead. There's 1:20 on the clock, but this camouflage is what everyone is focused on right now. StelluR's going to try and overextend towards the cafe. He's able to get the first kill. Eco able to burn that camo. His respawners and Tram for Quadrant are able to get an angle onto Eco. They take him down. That camo gets nullified. A win condition for SSG to get back into this game is removed from the equation. A minute now on the clock, and now every second that ticks is a second in Quadrant's favor here in round 1.
Those spawners like Quadrant are already taking space. SLG opens up with a double kill, and with that, the cut side player's gonna go down. That's a full squad fight. That's game. That may just be game.
That's round 1, Tony. Don't get ahead of yourself, but with the way Quadrant are playing, this is an unbelievable feat. They look like the flat-out better team here in London.
Round 1 goes to Quadrant. 1 round away from pulling off the sweep. Quadrant must be feeling good. I know those fans are.
The crowd continues to get louder. The energy in the room is felt by the players. You can see it in the way they're playing. And now round 2 kicks off. Let's see if SSG can respond or if the snowball has gotten too big. Have Quadrant's confidence gotten too much to handle?
Glory was able to get away with the Stalker. Legend shuts him down, and StelluR with some big kills off screen. That's a 3 down for Quadrant. The shotgun putting in work. 4 go down for Quadrant, 4 up for SSG.
Here we go. SSG throws a strike back. A much different start to round 2. Ball in hand, camo, shotty in the hands of Bound. If SSG have anything to say about the tournament's lives, it has to be now.
We've already seen SSG pull off 1 reverse sweep here in this tournament, and it was huge. Could they pull off another one? It starts 1 round at a time. 26-0 start for Spacestation Gaming is what you want to see. The crowd inside.
From the depths of hell, how far can SSG climb? Multiple members of Quadrant pushing bottom middle. They're all spotted by Bound, and here comes the Demon himself. He gets the first kill, but he's knocked down. 3 go down for Quadrant, and SSG setup stays strong. They've built themselves a 40-point lead in response.
Things are getting a bit out of control here for Quadrant. A 42-0 run is not what you want to see, not with how well Quadrant has been playing. Patient play out of Eco. Excellent damage onto both. Trades out his life, and the first damage leads to another kill. 3 down go Quadrant. SSG should be right on that ball.
SLG trying to be a nuisance, able to trade with that ball carrier, but the last player alive for SSG should be able to pick up that ball. It's StelluR, ball back in hand, and all of a sudden almost a perfect round here so far for SSG in response to their backs on the brink of elimination.
After the way Quadrant have been playing literally all series long, this is what you want to see out of SSG, and this is what you want to see out of Sica. Big kill, but a nade will deny him. Pushing toward the PD side. Snipedrone still looking towards A. Bound was able to get away with Camo.
Yeah, Bound opts to play for Camo and trying to keep his teammates alive. He knew that they were in too difficult a position to try and help. Bound with that Camo, sells that Camo right back to a neutralized position as he goes up to heaven over Chows, and a bit of a bad decision there from Bound will cost SSG their opportunity to defend this neutralized ball at this moment. 65 points, however, in their favor. They find themselves up 60.
Lqgend was the final player alive in that engagement, does everything he can to try to buy time for his team, but look how fast the rest of SSG are to collapse. But hold on, Quadrant are here. 18 seconds so far in a row for Quadrant, and SSG are coming right off a spawn.
SSG can take their time. They built themselves such a significant lead here in round 2. They need to find the kills. Unfortunately, losing Lqgend makes it so difficult. Right now, the ball being rotated, it appears, as SSG right behind the ball carrier. Here they come towards the cafe. It's Sica that gets taken down. The spike grenades from SLG, you think are going to give him an advantage, but Bound's perfect shots takes him down, and that ball is back in the hands of SSG.
Even the Bulldog wasn't enough to take down Bound in that scenario, but the cleanups do come in quick, and a double kill is the answer back that we're looking at. 72-30 in favor of Spacestation Gaming, and Bound and StelluR gonna push right through.
SSG have started to lose the Battle of Slays here in the last couple minutes. They need to pick him back up. They're so concerned with finishing off this round. They're a little bit desperate. I want to see them slow this down, but they don't have a ton of time. 1 or 2 more rounds of Slays, and Quadrant will be right back in this round.
Yeah, I said Bound and StelluR pushing right through, but they end up getting taken down almost immediately, and so do eventually 4 members of Spacestation Gaming. Some valuable time being put on the board for Quadrant once again, only down by 20 points. They come back in this, it'd be crazy.
It appears SLG was about to get a free camo, but StelluR in a perfect position there at the off-ball spawn takes him down. 4 down now for Quadrant, as you thought that camo might be something that can push them to a tied round here in round 2. SSG get all of the slays and get that ball and extend their lead, and now we're over 80 points. Quadrant will have 1 more push here in round 2.
They were looking to be heating up for a bit more Quadrant for that comeback, but now finding out it was overheated there. This is Quadrant's last opportunity to try to get this ball out of the hands of SSG, but 4 go down. And with Spacestation Gaming only 10 seconds away, that should be round number 1, at least for them. We're going into a swing round 3.
You can hear the boos from the crowd even in this room. SSG still have a lifeline left. They push this game 3 to a round 3.
See the looks on their faces? Fresh off a win in that round, but still not happy. They are determined to take this entire game to maybe pull off yet another reverse sweep here on Saturday here in London.
It's not over till it's over. And this round 3 is everything for SSG. They started off 3 down as Lqgend, the last player alive. Glory with Bulldog shotgun in hand. Looking for respawners right now, but Quadrant has started off much more like round 1 than round 2, and that's given them the early 15-point lead.
Same strategies that SSG used in that opening break is exactly what Quadrant used to open up with a 21-0 run, but they answered back from SSG, not only the ball out of the hands of Quadrant, but also the camo in the hands of Eco.
Look at the difference in slays right now as we enter round 3. It's a 21-point lead right now, but Quadrant are heavily outslaying SSG throughout this game. If that continues, I favor Quadrant here in round 3.
See Eco and Lqgend ready for the strong side push. Glory will take a direct route towards cuts or towards the B stairs, and looks like Snipedrone trying to make it into red room. Eco keeping him out. That's a finish there for him. Sica, the only player alive in this engagement, as SSG are going to take the lead.
Don't do this again, Quadrant. Don't let SSG hold this setup and continue to stagger your respawns. Round 2, that was the name of the game. That's how SSG were able to get such a significant lead and then play around that lead for the rest of the round. And it appears that that's the exact formula being replicated here.
SLG with a height advantage, puts down the damage, decides to retreat away from the tire side, but right into the hands of StelluR. Does SLG go? The final player is one shot. Easy kill for them. SSG right back on the ball. About 40 points in count.
And it's all because Eco was able to find that first pick and then sandwich the rest of the players that pushed into PD. Quadrant has Sica being staggered once again. SSG are starting to find their rhythm. Wow.
Big double out of bounds. Also has the Bulldog to work with, and SSG haven't wasted any time whatsoever. They've been on the ball over toward the PD side. 30-second advantage here for Spacestation Gaming, but who took down Eco? Where did Glory come from?
Glory came from the cafe side. Eco was, or Bound was right on his tail, but Bound was dealing with a more important decision, killing the camouflage player, denying that from Quadrant. Quadrant since then have found a couple of slays. The ball did not get played into a decent position, which allowed Quadrant to immediately pick it back up, and now they are making up the 30-point deficit that once was.
And because of some great spacing coming out of Quadrant, blocking the cafe and the PD side, SSG had no choice but to spawn across the map, and they have to make a dangerous cross against a very ready Quadrant. Snipedrone has already dealt with one. Looks like 3 go down for SSG. Big sequence for Quadrant.
Back and forth these two teams go. Quadrant will take the lead as SSG get put on respawn.
Quadrant take the lead. It's 56-52. SSG looks like about to be a 4-man push through the B side of the map, and that means Quadrant, they're going to try to rotate this away from Purple. A little bit of keep away being played by Quadrant, taking the look out of that optic play. But multiple go down here for Quadrant. That ball sits in no man's land. No team able to get it. It's not easy.
Keep away only lasts for so long, and Big Brother rips the ball right back into their hands as SSG get a setup in Tram. Thank you very much, Quadrant, for bringing it here. Let's see how SSG can potentially win Game 3.
66-59. SSG have taken back control of the game. Lqgend being forced back away from the arcade side. Quadrant clearly aren't playing any games. They're driving forward and being sent right back to spawn. 3 out of 4 members onto the black screen, and the Snipedrone will join them. About 10 seconds left here for SSG. Quadrant, do you even have time?
That's game. They have no time to get across the map. Lqgend stalling any potential threat that ball carrier will see. And if you thought this series was over after round 1, Tony, think again. SSG respond in Game 3.
At this point, the boost from the crowd might just be motivating SSG at the moment. That's a huge game out of them. And again, you see the determination of faith. There is no celebrating. They know that the job is not done. You need 2 more games in order to make it to that championship Sunday.
Game 4 is going to be strongholds, Quadrant's bread and butter, but Lqgend knows everything that they're going to throw at them. I cannot wait to get into that Game 4, but as we step back, let's take a look at the highlights of Game 3. Quadrant with such a magnificent start. Round 1 was dominant, but SSG, backs against the wall, last lifeline alive. They were able to respond with a very strong performance in round 2, and then winning that round 3 the way they did. They have now seized a little bit of momentum, and we know how far that can go. It can go a long way, Tony.
Yeah, we obviously know how good Spacestation Gaming have been at Oddball literally all tournament long, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised that even with Quadrant, even with all that momentum, even with the crowd on their side, SSG were able to persevere and at least put 1 on the board. But let's not forget, Quadrant still have a 1-game advantage. Quadrant still are at match point. They win this next game, they're going to Championship Sunday and upsetting defending champions.
And honestly, it was just kind of picture perfect by SSG. We called it going into this map and mode. They wanted to slow things down ever so slightly. They wanted to get a grip on what was happening. I honestly personally think that Quadrant have been outpacing them I think that's what has been happening. Maps 1 and 2, that first round of Oddball, their pace was actually so much higher than SSG, and SSG didn't know what to do with it. They were like, hold on a second, I thought we were the fastest team here.
Yeah.
What is this? How do we actually combat this? That's exactly what happened in Oddball. We said that they were going to slow things down, be very strategic. They were going to go back to the roots, go back to OG Halo, cycle the spawns, don't let them breathe, don't let them get any kind of semblance of any type of strategy themselves. And SSG, they ran away with it at the end there. But next is Stronghold's live fire, folks. And Clutch, if I know one thing, Quadrant will be very happy about this. This could end here for SSG. How do you think this is going?
What you just said resonated so well with what is going on in this series. SSG are known for being the fastest paced team in the HCS and have been for a very long time, but there's something about the way this Quadrant team that is playing. They are faster than SSG up until that second round, I would say, and then we started to see the traditional SSG pace. If Quadrant can figure out a way to push pedal to the metal for just one more game, they may just best the reigning champs.
Both of these teams are two of the best Strongholds teams that we have in the league. If you want to advance forward, you'll have to beat your opposition at their bread and butter. That goes for both of these squads. And an early double cap here for Spacestation Gaming. Now moving in quick for the trip cap. It starts.
And here comes the momentum from SSG, a trip cap this early on. And right now, SLG, although you have the S7, you got a lot of pressure in your face. He deals with it with the S7, a double kill. Unfortunately, a double was great. A triple was needed to stay alive. SSG now with Snipe in hand will have an opportunity to really extend this lead.
Sniper camo combination. You know Quadrant want to shut this down immediately. It ain't gonna happen. That's too quickly down for Quadrant, and more importantly, StelluR lives.
And more importantly, C being transferred over as well. A, B, and C once again in the hands of SSG, Snipe in the hands of StelluR, and this is where the game could get ugly.
52-0 here for Spacestation Gaming here in the early game. Quadrant have been lights out in Strongholds all tournament long, but SSG are matching that intensity at the moment as they hold on to the triple cap, forcing Quadrant to play for Alpha. You know it takes two to tango, though. Bravo and Charlie is all Spacestation Gaming.
75 perfect points from SSG. Nothing from Quadrant so far. Can you respond? Can you wake back up? Because right now, SSG, you poke the bear, beware of the bear. Here comes Bound, top middle, Snipe in hand, can't hit the quick scope. And because of it, SSG will now lose control, and this will be Quadrant taking the trip cap in the response.
You know the old saying, you mess with the bear, you get the claws, but a trip cap now for Quadrant. Another answer back, but still an 87-0 run for SSG. Do Quadrant have it in them to come back? Snipedrone clearly does. A double guard of him might not only get them control, but also a camouflage.
33 unanswered points now, starting to crawl back, but it's taking them some time. They need to keep up these slays, and I believe camouflage is coming up. There will be decisions made by Quadrant that will impact their tournament lives here very shortly.
Both of them going down here for SSG, but Lqgend with a huge pivotal battle. A win on Sica. Snipedrone finds himself over towards the nest
Big
side,
kill.
but oh my gosh, had no business taking down StelluR there. Bound with the camo.
Yeah, SSG able to get this camouflage. Quadrant playing for the slays and the map control. Let's see if they can take down Bound before he does too much work. Unfortunately, the first player, a victim of Bound. The second player trying to find Bound, but Bound is too smooth with it. He gets the stick, takes down two by himself, all four down for Quadrant, and SSG used this camo to get right back in the driver's seat of game 4.
90-58 lead, and you notice how SSG are immediately influencing those spawns, limiting the options of Quadrant. SLG finds out immediately, but there is a shutdown of that sniper player, and that's going to be Snipedrone. He goes after Bound, goes after Lqgend as well, but didn't know that StelluR was ready for the bait and switch.
Yeah, I believe SSG are going to have that snipe right back in hands. Lqgend applying pressure on the B. A great job from SSG to respond to get that snipe immediately out of SLG's hands, and with that, A couple of kills with that snipe have gone a long way. They're pushing the trip cap once again.
It's the former Quadrant member in Legend right now. 12-4, the only player in the entire lobby at double-digit kills, and a large reason why SSG hold on to a 135-58 advantage. They also hold on to both Bravo and Charlie, and with slay after slay, every kill that goes their way should be more points added for Spacestation Gaming.
StelluR is popping off ever since he picked up the snipe. He may only have 6 kills, but you're seeing Quadrant drop right in front of him. Every snipe bullet, it seems, is connected from a third-person point of view, and the first-person point of view shows the same as he quickscopes the player in big door.
SSG just turns him to dust with that snipe shot. 3 down once again, go Quadrant, a triple cap now for Spacestation Gaming. Quadrant forced to spawn toward the A side. That's exactly where StelluR's reticle is placed with the sniper.
100-point lead for SSG, a game 5 and our destination if SSG can keep this up for a little bit longer. StelluR uses every bullet of the snipe to put Quadrant down, and finally his reign of terror is over, but the damage has been done.
Now Alpha and Charlie belong to Quadrant. Points will be accumulated here as I see that 3 down go Quadrant. SSG hop right off of Charlie. That should be a double cap for them. Right off the rip, Sica is able to get the kill, but Charlie was stolen by SSG.
Sica trying to make a play bottom middle is sniffed out, cut out, and SLG taken down with this camo as well will surely result in SSG taking map control here shortly.
At one point in time, we called Quadrant the greatest strongholds team in the world. But at that same point, we called Legend the greatest strongholds player in the world. Who will come out on top? As it's still a 170-76 advantage for Spacestation Gaming, and Bound not able to get the trade onto Sica. It looks like SSG want to attack Bravo, but Quadrant have a clear line of defense.
Multiple members of SSG jumping to beat here. If Snipedrone wants any chance of denying a game 5, he's got to stay alive. 3 down for SSG. A phenomenal job by Snipedrone to deal damage to multiple players. They want to advance on the map, however. They have to get a trip cap. They know they do. They are not going to outplay SSG with just a 2 cap here for that long. The deficit is almost 100 points, and SSG are able to cut down a couple of players, but Sica jumping into A is going to make things dicey as they flip the map.
Charlie was traded for Spacestation Gaming, but Alpha accumulated by Quadrant. Once again, double cap intact. But numbers advantage for Spacestation Gaming. That normally means they're going to get aggressive, especially leaving Snipedrone as the final player alive. How much impact can he have? What kind of play can he make? He gets the kill, gets the reset. It's pretty darn good.
Pretty darn good's not enough, though. The rest of SSG able to get A and pop right back into B, and worst case scenario, Bound finding the snipe and putting it to work will now continue SSG's opportunity to score points.
And there's SLG with that sniper again. If he would have got the triple, I probably would have screamed. But still 3 down for Quadrant. Make it 4. Spacestation Gaming will be the first ones to hit that 200-point mark. Now Quadrant really must be feeling the pressure.
And even though we've seen Quadrant have moments of special plays throughout this game 4, it is still a 100-plus point lead now for SSG as they cross the 200-point mark.
Bravo. Just about in the hands of Glory and Quadrant. A huge kill out of him. Not able to keep his teammate alive, but double kill, and there goes Eco. Eco gets a double of his own. They're going to take Bravo right back unless SLG. Now he goes down.
A beautiful predictive grenade from Eco. That plasma was perfectly placed to hit SLG in the face. Staggers the pressure, allows them to get B, and now they're on the verge of a trip cap to end this game 4.
Moving it quickly, but 3 down. Go Spacestation Gaming, excuse me. Bravo and Charlie still in their hands, and Sica and Quadrant do prioritize grabbing hold of the camouflage. Now we start to move over towards Charlie. Does Sica, does he know he's gonna have 2 players to deal with? Legend down to 1 shot, but there's the bait and switch, and StelluR shuts down not just 1 but 2 members of Quadrant. 224 for Spacestation Gaming.
And Glory, fighting for his life back B, is the only player that will have something to deny a game 5. Glory somehow finds 2. Glory can't quite get B as a 3rd player from SSG is forced onto green to get the reset onto B. And now 2-35 and climbing, SSG are on the verge of a game 5.
Eco with the kill. A flank by Sica, but Legend is quick on the attack. Final 5 seconds. will go to SSG unless Glory can slide in. The 1v1 is won. All the glory goes to him as he keeps it alive, just 1 second shy.
Can you be perfect, Quadrant? To deny a game 5 right now, A and B in their favor, but no room for error. 2:49, the Space Station are cut close, but no cigar yet.
Charlie's being grabbed. While Space Station Gaming go 3 down, Quadrant want to take advantage of it. They're pushing over towards Charlie, but a trade happens and a reset does as well. That forces Quadrant to dedicate resources to taking C and an out-rotate by Space Station Gaming to go after Alpha. Double cap still intact for Quadrant, but 4 members up for SSG. That usually means they hold forward.
That's going to be game 2 go down for Quadrant. Glory giving his life, choosing not to quantum back. Every stronghold on the map right now is the focus for SSG. They're going to give up A, they're in B, and that's going to do it. Game 5 will be here shortly because SSG are not done yet.
It was written. It's in the script already. You already know the final match of the day. It's going to a game 5. Will it be the hometown team in Quadrant that advance the championship Sunday? Or will we see yet another reverse sweep from your Arlington champions? This is what I live for.
Listen, I didn't want to say it earlier, but you had to be out of your mind if you didn't think Space Station Gaming were going to wake up the way that they had done previously. I could have told you that. We'd seen it before. They reverse swept earlier on. They know exactly what they're doing, although it did take some time for them to wake up. I still do feel like Quadrant are on pace with Space Station Gaming. Yes, it did get out of control here on the Strongholds, and yes, it is one of their favorite modes, if not their favorite mode to play here in Halo Infinite, but Space Station Gaming, they were just so efficient. They were able to collapse at times that Quadrant weren't expecting, and I think this is also where it comes down to superstar power. We have some amazingly talented individuals on Space Station Gaming, and when they start ripping heads, when they start getting their pivs, Lqgend at certain times, getting double kills that he had no business getting, staying alive in certain situations, Eco, unbelievable reads from that guy. That's where it gets out of hand, and that's where Quadrant needs to shut it down.
Lqgend himself stepped up and said, we're not losing to my old team. Dominated game 4 to give his team a breath of life there, and it really was the Lqgend and StelluR show throughout that game. I think all of SSG has picked it up here in the last 2 games, but StelluR with that snipe, we only saw about half of it from his point of view, allowed SSG the opportunity to get a 100-point lead, and when you do that on a map like Livefire Strongholds, you get to play from the lead. Your decisions become so much easier rather than feeling the pressure of if we rotate wrong, this game is over.
StelluR's been absolutely lights out, but I also want to give a shout out to Lqgend. So far in this series, he is leading all slays for his team with 77 kills and also all assists as well. He is literally doing it all as far as the damage department, and knowing how unselfish of a player that he is in the objective. It's both StelluR and Lqgend right now that are killing it, and you already know we got to talk about Eco as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Eco for me, especially in that oddball, I think just for me, I love seeing things that are happening that aren't just about the slays, that aren't just about some of those pips. Eco is making plays that kept them in the game. They kept that control out of the hands of SLG and the rest of the team because it was so imperative they kept moving. Quadrant, they love to move. You could see at certain times, SSG were outslaying them heavily, but they kept moving. They kept a double cap the entire time. And that was what was trying to tick things over for Quadrant. And Space Station Gaming just managed to hold down chunks and chunks of time there in those strongholds. It was really impressive. And for me, Eco was one of those guys who's hopping in the hill, making great plays, having great pivs, and having a great time doing it.
Who better than the IGL to step up when your backs are completely against the wall? That motivates everybody, the superstars to his left and right, to step up as well. And now that they're in this game 5, a place where it probably felt so far away 2 games ago, they are probably rolling, waiting, trying to get into this game 5 and play it as fast as possible because they have stripped any momentum that this crowd and Quadrant had.
I will say also, in terms of this Slayer, this final game 5 here, I am a little bit nervous for Space Station Gaming, and I'll tell you why. Just a little bit in one aspect. It's the crowd. And I know it sounds crazy because, of course, it does come down to the gameplay at the end of the day. but that crowd is going to be going absolutely nuts for every single kill Quadrant get. That feeds into their minds. You know that. You know what it feels like to have a crowd screaming after you have an incredible 5, or you just have the most unbelievable piv that you should never have won. It means a lot to you, and it really fires you up. That's going to be happening for those Quadrant boys, and they're going to be feeding off it.
The big question for me going into this Game 5 is, what has Quadrant learned? Has Quadrant learned from their mistakes? They have lost 2 Game 5s yesterday, and this is not a Game 5 that they want to lose. I promise you that. They do not want to leave this tournament with thinking that they weren't clutch enough to get the job done. They have done so much work to set themselves up for the opportunity for several upsets, and they have fallen short since. But here's another opportunity. Have you learned from your mistakes? Have you learned that maybe you lost composure in certain moments? And now is the time to practice what you've learned and what you've gone over as far as why things went wrong the first time. Don't make bad moments habits here in the most important series of your tournament life.
I love the fact that you talked about that crowd being against SSG, because yes, that might fuel Quadrant. At the same time, you know, for example, a player like Bound who calls himself him, that's going to motivate him. Right now, he's motivated to silence the crowd. And how crazy would it be if they were able to reverse sweep? So I will say, it could be a double-edged sword right now. And man, here's a Game 5.
He's ready to play the villain, Tony, is what you're trying to say. He's ready to be the villain of this story and of this Cinderella moment for Quadrant, and taking off the shoes. Maybe both of them would be Spacestation Gaming right now and throwing them out the window, because it would be heartbreaking. I think getting reverse swept, it would be absolutely heartbreaking for this hometown team. Looking at the last game of the night, though, StelluR Recharge, this Game 5. Tony, anything that you can tell me statistically? Is it favoring either one? Somebody loving Recharge StelluR in particular, or are they both pretty even and we're really just going down to the wire in terms of who's showing up on what day?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I did it back in Raleigh, season 1 in the opener when I tossed the papers. And no matter what the stats say, I got it in my hands right now, and I'm about to toss them again. It don't matter what the stats say. It doesn't matter, because right now it's Game 5. It's do or die. Who wants it more? Is it Quadrant? Is it Spacestation Gaming?
Opening break, such an important piece to how Recharge StelluR traditionally goes. You get the camo, you get the shock rifle, you get the lead. That's how this game traditionally goes at the highest level. These two teams want that camouflage, and they want the shock rifle and the opportunity to step up and make a play.
It's Recharge StelluR. First to 50 kills, 12 minutes on the clock. And of course, we're gonna start on board with Lqgend. The former Quadrant member came over to SSG to win not 1, not 2, but multiple titles for this organization. SLG opens up with a double kill dub, and that's half the members of SSG on the black screen. That's 3/4 of them, a 3-0 start for Quadrant.
3 players from Quadrant push into white. They take over white and make it their own. Lqgend caught completely out of the play, able to now get off to a hot start. Quadrant, what can they do with this map control? Can they snowball this into a significant lead?
You heard the GloryGGz. And he's still alive and kicking. Both Lqgend and StelluR will fall, and they've already 3x the scoreline of the opposition. Have Quadrant. Snipedrone adds yet another one. A hot start coming out of Quadrant.
8-3, Quadrant back in the driver's seat here. 8-4 now. SSG able to trade out a couple of kills. Sica with the shock rifle, the first player with the power weapon in his hand on screen. Backs up, plays his life, and does he know Eco is behind him? Because Eco will be looking for him here shortly.
It's going to be a 1v1 that could determine who grabs a hold or stays a hold of the shock and gold side control. Bound with the cross-map shots, weakens Sica, and you know that SSG are pushing from multiple sides to try to get the kill. Sica, a crafty play to stay alive. SSG are still looking for him. Meanwhile, he's about to collect a new angle.
12-6, Sica trying to play his life's top grapple, but it's a very exposed location, unable to do so. And now these kills are important, Tony, because Camo, the second one of the game, is coming up, and SSG are taking control. 3 down for Quadrant.
And a 3-kill advantage for Quadrant at the moment, but don't give SSG an inch. I promise you, they will take a mile on you. As Bound with the shots, I don't know how he went down there. That was beautifully played by Quadrant, and a double kill out of SLG leads to another 3 out of 4 members of SSG on the black screen.
Norwin is a bad, bad man as he gets a double kill, picks up the camo, can't quite get the kill on the bound, and this is a massive swing of events. What looked like Quadrant with an opportunity to get the power up in hand and take over. SSG fight back.
Just a 1-kill game in this game 5 to decide who makes it into Sunday. A damaged player of Quadrant will back down to Sica, who is watching his back. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, I do see Eco pushed up, and Bound takes a direct route towards the blue pipe. So now both sides of the map being addressed here for Spacestation Gaming, and now it's a 3-man push. Now it's SSG infiltrating the tower side, pushing Quadrant out. A successful push out of them, but still just a 1-kill game. Now this time for Spacestation Gaming.
SSG in the first lead of the game 5 here as they take it 20-19. The game will slow down, and if you take a look at the stats, Tony, the top performers from the series are the ones stepping up right now. SLG at 8-5, Eco at 9-1-4.
Tied up at 20 apiece. StelluR will be forced to back down away from that tower side. He knows that Quadrant are coming in quick, and it ain't just one, it's multiple of them, but multiple are gonna be sent right back. 3 down for Quadrant. SSG gain control.
Bound with the no scope with the shock rifle extends the lead to 2. A quick switch point of views, and you see Bound starting to put to work. He is in a power position with the weapon in hand as camo comes up to change this game.
Multiple members from Quadrant are trying to cross out of A, but down to 1 shot is Bound, looking to stay alive. Back-to-back kills for Quadrant. Now it's Bound by himself. He's gonna take a bit of a different route, go for camouflage, and nobody was watching it.
What was Quadrant doing? How do you not have eyes on camo? You got the slays, but they left Bound alone, and Bound just walks onto camo, picks up the camo, gets a kill, and now this is a dangerous position for Quadrant.
Bound with the kill. Glory hits the black screen, and he retreats right towards that gold side of the map. Now it's Glory and Sica trying to get off his wall. Glory right for the mid, right for the challenge, and Bound ready for a killing spree. Quadrant, they're in trouble right now. SSG is starting to roll.
A 6-kill game, questionable decisions from Bound. You're seeing Glory get caught off, sprinting into no man's land right there twice in a row. Is the moment too big for the young Irishman?
StelluR over towards tower. SLG, he will get the kill, and Sica will get one as well. So an answer back from Quadrant to try to claw their way back into it. They had control for so long. They want it back.
It looks bad for Quadrant, but it's still just a 4-kill game. 36-32. This game is still anyone's, and all of SSG are stuck in elevator. You can't push through the doorway, however. The nades are too strong. It's a trade, so no harm, no foul. But Quadrant need to be careful. This next mistake, they may pay with their tournament lives.
Going to grapple across the map and into the A side. This is a risky maneuver being made by him, and it may just not pay off. Now a momentary 3v2. SSG do have the advantage on you. Snipedrone's gonna try to make magic happen, but StelluR is going to shut it down. A 5-kill advantage here for Spacestation Gaming. They want to knock Quadrant out.
Eco is 14-7-6, taking over this game. Still 4 kills separate the two. Camo comes up in 5 seconds. Quadrant cannot afford to allow this camo to go into SSG's hands.
The game was slowed down just for a moment. On the opposite side, Eco was trying to push that long haul side. He gets caught. Sica and SLG are able to deal with both Eco and Lqgend, and now it's Snipedrone with the collapse on the other side of things. Oh, well executed push coming out of Snipedrone and Quadrant, but we see a trade, 42-40.
A 2-kill game. Camo is in the hands of SSG, however. He spotted out Bounce, still Bounce off the bottom white. Bounce
wow.
Down Glory and SLG and Snipedrone. Quadrant do it all. They're down 1 kill.
They had control. They're looking to take back what's rightfully theirs. The home crowd on their side, but StelluR with the silencer with the shot.
Expands the lead to 2. Spots the second player bottom white. Lqgend is going to help set up StelluR. Put the ball on the pedestal, and StelluR starting to pop off. 47-45.
StelluR gonna retreat with that shock. It's a 1v1. He doesn't want to take over toward the A side. He wants his teammates with him. It's teamwork that's going to make this dream work. They're 3 kills away from ultimately taking game 5, but Quadrant right on their tails, only down by 2.
The game's going to slow down to a stalemate. They're going to allow StelluR the opportunity to end this game for SSG. Quadrant have to be so careful as StelluR continues to relocate. Sica is able to find the first kill. All of SSG now stuck in the back of pipes. They want to push, but they have to be careful.
Some well-placed grenades could be devastating here from Quadrant, but SSG, they're here. They're pushing.
49
Lqgend gets a kill. So does StelluR. 1 more kill needed here for Spacestation Gaming.
1 more kill needed. Players separated. Split spots come through. A trade for Eco. Lqgend stands up. Lqgend says, no, no, no. I'm not going home yet.
What a fight. What an ending. The dream will not come true. Quadrant almost pulling the upset of the year. But it's SSG that will not be denied. It's SSG that are going to Championship Sunday. And Quadrant so close. The hometown team, they're not sad. They're not mad. They're giving love to the boys. They know that they gave it everything they had.
The players are heartbroken though. What a series to lose. You go up 2-0, you're feeling the momentum in round 1 of game 3. Everything feels like it's your day, your moment. And then slowly but surely, the reigning champs rip it away from them. If you take a shot at the champs, you best not miss. You best not leave the door open because they will always find a way to come back.
You can't help but get emotional. I mean, again, we don't talk about the human side enough, but you know what that meant to Quadrant right there. For those fans, for themselves, they were up 2-0. They were 1 game, in fact, 1 round away from coming out with that win. And it's SSG with the reverse sweep right through the heart.